Okay, I'm just going to do a quick tutorial just to show you how to do some cool effects. You can do these on lots of different things, but we're just going to do it on some text today. Okay, so what I'm going to show you to do really is stuff like drop shadows and strokes, basically. So if we decided we want to do something with the masthead, make it look a little bit fancy, the paint kind of blends in with Bill's forehead, so, looks a bit crap, looks a bit unprofessional. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something to this this text up here so it stands out a little bit. So all you need to do is go along and click on the FX button underneath, but do make sure you've selected the right layer in your layer palette. So in this case our masthead's this one, so make sure we're clicked on that and then just click the FX button. This will come up then, there's loads of different options here. So first thing we'll do is put a drop shadow on there, and I'll click that, and I'm just going to move it to the side just so you can actually see like a preview as we're changing settings and so forth. Anyway, this is a little menu that comes up, lots of options over here for the drop shadows. You can already see the drop shadow just slightly by there. If I turn this off, you'll see it disappear, hopefully. There it goes. Turn it back on, there's the drop shadow. We can do lots of things to this. We can make it, we can move it a bit further away from the text with stuff like the distance slider. I'll move away like that, so I can choose as I want. The spread will just sort of move it out as much as possible, give it a kind of a ratio sort of spread away from its original point at 100%. Don't tend to use this very much. Lastly, size is quite a good one. As you sort of pull this out, it'll actually blur away, so it'll go from a sort of solid shape to a blur. So you can make some choices with that. You can of course do other things. You can change the color. We could have a white drop shadow if we wanted. I'll turn that on to just change the thing so you can actually see it. So I've just changed the blend mode to normal just so you can see that looks a bit rubbish. So I'm back to multiply, and I'll change that back to black, but depending on what you're working on, that may work for you. You could change the angle in which you want the drop shadow to come from. You could change the opacity. Opacity is a really good little slider on lots of stuff in Photoshop, and basically this just dictates how much of whatever you've got there you see. So at 100% it's completely visible, at 0% it's completely transparent. So you can sort of change these and be quite subtle with it if you want. And that's basically drop shadow. Nice simple tool, nice and quick and easy. The other sort of little tool or little FX I was going to show you here is the stroke. There are lots of others here though, and you might want to have a little play around and select some of these. When you do select it, just make sure you actually then again, this kind of blue selection is on the on whatever you're playing around with. So again, stroke here, and you can probably just about see there's a tiny black outline, and that's actually that's what's called a stroke in the kind of graphic world. I'll change it to white so you can actually see it a little bit better, and I'll make it a little bit bigger, and there you can see it's coming up there, so you can obviously just change the size and do whatever you want with it. Leave it like that. You could change it inside if you want. That looks probably a little bit better, but again, you know, something like that looks quite nice. You could change the blend mode if you want, but probably since you're not very advanced Photoshop, most of you probably not worth messing about with. And again, you could change the opacity and do some really kind of cool stuff with that if you want. And there we go. Once you're completely done, just press OK and all your effects are saved. You can see there we've completely changed the look of this kind of masthead. If you want to just sort of see what it looks like without the effects and with the effects, there's a little eyes along the layer palette, and these are quite useful just for turning off, and they'll stop whatever you select being displayed. So if I click that, the masthead actually disappears. Click back, comes back, but you can actually do it to effects as well. So if I click there, you can see the effect disappear, and then I put it back on, you can see the effects come back, and I can do it with the drop shadow, and I can do it with the stroke. Okay.